Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming and listening to our podcast.
So today's episode is being ghosted. Ooh.
Ooh, scary.
And we don't mean Halloween ghosted. It's not Halloween yet, but do you know what ghosted means?
You know, so maybe I'm aging myself, but whatever. So a few months ago, my niece and I are having this conversation, and she says, this guy just ghosted me. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is ghosted?
What did she say?
And then we start talking further, and then I get it. And I said, oh, so basically now that's what they're calling it, ghosted. Whereas before, the person just disappeared. They didn't want to talk to you anymore. Or basically you got shanked, like I like to say.
I call it being a dick.
Or that too. That works.
They're equally, they're both, they're synonyms of each other.
Yes.
It's also called being benched or being zombied.
I've never heard those terms before.
I guess being benched, I get it, because sports, you're being benched, you're like, you're not going to play.
That's
but being
so
zombied,
rude.
that's weird, because you're still kind of alive.
I guess it's a
weird.
Derivative or another word for ghost. I don't know, a zombie.
Yes, dead or something. I don't know. You're dead but alive. I get it. Okay, I get it.
You're like The Walking Dead, but you're
Dead.
not.
Yeah. So this is, look at a beautiful definition. I think it's so sweet how they define it. The practice of silently leaving a relationship by leaving all communication unanswered. Doesn't that sound like so peaceful?
Yes, or
like silently leaving, just like you
you're
leave.
doing your exit from the stage
Yeah.
gracefully.
Yeah, it's like so graceful. You're leaving, everything is okay. Nothing is. You don't leave anything in chaos. You just silently sneak out.
You just disappeared.
You
Poof.
just poof, and like
poof. It's magic.
And you don't leave. Then just disappear. There's nothing. There's no trace of you and. Fuck you.
Yeah, no, I really think that's a cowardly way of people acting now, and unfortunately, it's more common, and to a certain extent, I even think that it's acceptable. It's crazy.
It is. It has become acceptable because it's so easy to do. It's so easy to do because.
Easy to disappear.
It's easy to disappear, especially at the beginning, because you're just texting or whatever. So it's just easy to just like not answer a text or whatever. It's like, oh, whatever, like blah, blah, blah. Whatever your reason is.
That's a whole other area of concern. The whole texting, like nobody even like wants to pick up the phone anymore.
Well, that's
and
like
talk on the phone.
That's another episode.
Yes, I concur.
So have you ghosted someone? Now that you know what it is, and going back into your like dating time, have you I don't think it was as easy to ghost somebody back when you. I mean, I'm not aging yourself, but I think millennials is like that's the norm. But us, I mean, I'm in my 40s. We're both in our 40s.
Yeah.
So back when you were like dating, I mean, there wasn't cell phones, so it was like. You had to like break up with somebody face to face.
Yes.
Or pick up the phone at least. So I don't think that I don't think that really existed back then.
I don't know. I think it did. I think that
looking back, you're like, now that you know what it is, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I think it did. I think it just.
That's what I did.
That's what I did to this poor guy who was so nice to me.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. Like this guy was so loving me. I told him, no, you're not. You just think you are. And, it's one of those when you don't really want to be with a person. So I guess that's kind of like ghosting. And then I think the whole ignoring and like ditching them, in a hallway at school or stuff like that. I guess that's
hypothetically,
wink, wink, maybe.
But how old were you? Like, were you in high school or something?
No, I was in college. I hate to admit that.
College? Hallway in college? No.
Yes, I would see him and I was like, oh my God, let me go the other way. And then, so I guess that's a form of ghosting where you're
so you never officially like broke it up?
I did.
Okay.
But, for a moment there, he was insisting. And then, that's when I think I was being the ghost.
But were you like...
I was being Casper.
You Caspered somebody. We did another term. That's another term. You know, you're being ghosted, you're being Caspered.
Caspered.
But I mean, how long were you like in an actual full-blown relationship, like met each other's family stuff, or no?
Well, he never met my family, but I did meet his.
Okay.
And he's just a great person. I still have contact with him. Okay. He's married, he has kids, and we still speak, and he's a great person. He really is. Okay. But so just back then, you know, it wasn't the guy for me. It's not the one that I wanted. Yeah. You know, so I get it. And then moved to present. I guess I did ghost someone because I just didn't want to put up with the bullshit. And, you know, everything was text, and then we would see each other, and then, you know, a one day disappearing act, and then, you know, this went on for a little bit, and then one day disappeared, and the next day I got an emoji. And I was like, what the F? An emoji?
You're not gonna emoji me.
Correct. So then I was like, you know what? I think you could just keep your emoji. How about that? And I never answered him again. And that was the end of that.
That's another term. You've been emojied. That's how you know you're being like ghosted too. When somebody just texts you emojis, no.
Yeah, what the frick is that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so over this social media bullshit. I'm like,
but keep listening to our podcast.
Correct.
And follow us on social media.
Make sure to emoji us.
Do not ghost us, please. Do not Casper us, okay?
No, don't. And for those of you that don't know what Casper is, it's a little ghost way back when cartoon that it was so cute. Yes, very cute.
I don't think I've ghosted someone. I've always, because one time I was ghosted, and that really hurt. So I promised myself like I would never ghost somebody. So if I've at least met you face to face, like I will definitely try to break it up with you, at least by telephone. At least. At least. No, like I've tried to, like, sometimes I like, you know, tell somebody like, hey, can we meet up for like this and that. I mean, my intention is just to break it up with you face to face. And sometimes they're like, no, you know, like I can. And then I'm like, just like, you know, when I want to end something, I have to end it like right there. Like I can't hold on to that. If I feel something, like I have to like just let it out, because I can't hold that in. I don't think I've ghosted somebody that I have. I mean, one thing is like if you're just texting with somebody you haven't met and the conversation just like, you know, dwindles and there's like nothing there. That's not really, I don't know if that's really ghosting, because it's like it never went anywhere. So
I think that just dies out if it's on a mutual plane,
exactly,
where you're both losing interest and you seldom reach out to each other, and then on the board, hey, what's up? And then you're like, oh, hi, and then that's it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You know, I don't think that's ghosting. I think ghosting is when you're both, or so you think, you're both, you know, mutually involved, and you like each other, and you're going out, and all of a sudden you disappear on the person. That's just being a coward.
Especially if you've like done the nasty with the person.
Oh my God.
That person just disappears on you. That's not cool, dude. Or girl. That's not
then
cool.
You need to start asking yourself some serious questions like, am I on my game? Like, what happened? Did I do my stretching exercises before? That's what I get for not warming up. You know,
that's what I get for canceling my bikini wax.
Yeah, OMG.
Sure. So that, I mean, if it's like, I can imagine like being like in a full-on relationship and doing like a little bit of research with this thing. I really thought ghosting was just, oh, whatever, we've just been talking, you know, for a week, 2 weeks, or maybe a month or two, but it wasn't like a committed mutual, you know, relationship. Like I didn't think that would happen, but it has happened. Like people that have been in a relationship, like mutually exclusive relationships, meet each other, family type of thing for months, have reported they've been ghosted. And I was like, I can't imagine like what that must feel like. That's like almost like being stood up like on the altar, you know, on the day of your wedding. It's like, that's incredible.
But that's really odd. You have to think that there's some deep-rooted issue and or psychological problem with the person. That's really weird.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to that level, because otherwise, I mean, if you're not, I mean, I've been ghosted, and I've ghosted somebody when it's like I call it a relation-ish. It's not really, or a situationship, how you like to call it.
Yes, I've recently heard situationship, and I was like, what the frick is a situationship? Like, I don't know. I'm learning something new every day, ladies and gents.
Yeah. But you say like there's, deep-rooted issues. Like, absolutely, I can't imagine somebody who has like just like a backbone, or like if you're like a decent human being, you just don't do that. You're either like, definitely you're immature. You're definitely afraid of confrontation, but you got to do the right thing, dude. Like, you got to put yourself. This is where like that however old this thing is, like, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. You wouldn't be dumb that you don't want somebody to do that to you. So that's not cool. That's gonna come back to you. That's karma. Karma's a bitch.
Yeah, I do think that immaturity, fear of intimacy, the whole narcissist thing, I think is huge nowadays. I think that you will encounter a lot of narcissists. Unfortunately, I think that social media allows for that because of the millennials, and maybe you have all this going on now, and then you have older people coming into the social media aspect of it, and people have just gone into this odd comfort zone of detaching emotionally.
Yeah.
And I think that is what contributes to all of these terms now being used, ghosted, whether it's disappearing off the face of the earth, leaving somebody at the altar, whatever it is. I just think that people have a really hard time now being interactive with somebody on a one-on-one, face-to-face. I think a lot of it, you hide behind the social media. You could be something maybe that you're not, through text,
for sure,
through social media, through whatever it is,
It's definitely easier to put up walls and to put up, I don't know, whatever excuses, but at the same time, it makes you more visible. So I get it. Back in the 70s or 80s, if you ghosted somebody, the other person could be like really seriously and genuinely concerned for you. Like, did something happen to you? I don't know. But now it's like, okay, nothing happened to this dick because he's posting stuff, and he's going out here and he's going out there and he's meeting this person. So he's alive. So he's using his cell phone. So he's clearly ignoring my texts or my calls or whatever. So,
and to add
people think
to
there's
that,
like a double life. It's like, it's still you, dude. It's still like, I know that this isn't like you're not like a caricature or a character like social media. You're still a human being that's pushing the buttons on your cell phone and like sliding and swiping left or right or whatever. Like, it's still a human being.
To add to that, it's funny that you said, people used to care if something happened to you or whatever. I think now is the total opposite of that, because you have so many options, online, whether it's men, women, that maybe you did get hit by a bus, but who cares? Who cares? I'm on to the next one.
Well, maybe I thought for a second that you might have gotten hit by a bus, but then if I see a post 2 minutes later, then okay, no, he's alive. He's just ignoring me. So, it's just not cool.
Yeah, so I went on a date with this guy. We were dating for a short time, and one day he just disappeared. He didn't answer. We had left really late, and we went in separate cars. Anyway, so I didn't hear from him, and I thought maybe something happened to him because it wasn't normal. He would text me, he would call me, and then a day went by and I was like, this is weird. Like, is he alive? And then
that actually went through your mind.
Yeah, I did, because you kind of fall into this habit of a pattern, really is what it is, where you're used to hearing from someone, whether it's text, by phone, and then when they ghost you, I guess maybe it was like a short-term ghosting, for a day, I don't know. you start getting concerned. Well, at least I did anyway. So when I did finally speak to him the day after, and I mentioned it to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I crashed and died on the expressway." I'm like, "You're an asshole." Major
emphasis on the whole.
And I did tell him that, and he's like, "Oh my god, no, blah." And I said, no, you know what, you're right, next time I really don't care if you get crash and die on the expressway, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know, like I really, my mind doesn't go to that, because the percentage of that actually happening is like so slim. So if I haven't heard from you for like 24 hours, it's like, okay, this Bye-bye. Is what's happening. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yeah, so when I say, like people do it, when I say like lack of confrontation is definitely tempting, it's not only because I mean I used to, I think, have more of a lack of I had a fear of confrontation, but not necessarily that I was really concerned how you were going to react, but like for me to actually like break the news. But people, when you say like lack of confrontation, it is tempting, absolutely, because you don't have to face the person. But at the same time, it's like they do it because they don't know how you're going to react. So if you're going to like create a scene, or if you're going to start crying or, fighting or etc., like that's not a person that you want to be with, because eventually if you are in a relationship, there's going to be times where you're going to be vulnerable, you're going to be crying, things are going to happen. How is a person going to deal with that? They're going to run away, so they're going to ghost you eventually. So that's what I mean by like lack of confrontation.
Yeah, I just think it all goes back to being a coward.
Yeah.
I just feel that nowadays people, because they don't have that open one-on-one interaction with each other, like we used to have before, all the texting and the social media and all this stuff, it just makes it easier for people to not humanize certain situations.
That's a good way to looking at it. Like you don't humanize it, absolutely.
Yeah. There's no how do I say it, accountability anymore. It's more like, okay, next, okay, I'll just send you a little emoji, okay, bye. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, what the hell just happened? Nobody says anything. Nobody's like the stand-up guy anymore. Nobody comes up to you and says, hey, I'm sorry, this is not working out, or you know what, like, I'm gonna start dating somebody else, or I don't know. Yeah. Honesty does work, people.
Yeah, like if you want to be, because I get the fear of hurting somebody, and you think like, okay, if I'm gonna actually have a conversation and break up with this person, I'm gonna break his or her heart. You're gonna do it regardless. If you disappear, you're doing the same thing. So I think if you actually have the balls to like talk to somebody and say, this isn't working out, I'm not feeling the same way, I'm not vibing, you didn't do anything wrong, it's just I'm not feeling it, so
it's
I think
me, it's just not you.
Sometimes it's you,
but it's really me.
But I've been, like you go out and you meet somebody, you're like, I didn't really feel it, and they ask you for a second date and you're like, I'm not really interested, I didn't feel it. Most of the time I just get from the other guy, okay, that's fine, have a whatever, it was nice, okay, and that's it, you end it. But that's it, you end it amicably. You don't have to be hiding from each other if you see each other in public places. Like, At the end of the day, what I say is like the world is really, really, really tiny, and eventually you're going to run into this person, and you don't want to be the one that's like hiding and the bushes, like not wanting to face.
Or all of a sudden you have amnesia. Who are you? Where do I know you
from? They come up to you like,
I know you. Where did
what do you do? It's like, I don't know who you are. You must be confusing me with somebody.
Yeah, oh my god, you look familiar, but did I ever meet you?
Oh my god, it's like that movie, like, something of the Spotless Mind or something with like Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet.
Yes.
The Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yes. Maybe that's what we should call it.
So some people are just immature. Some people are just dicks. But some people do have clinic, I don't know how do you say it, like when you give it a name, like diagnosed fear of intimacy, or like you're self-sabotaging. That could also be true. But then again, you don't want to be with that person. It all comes down to like, okay, if that's your problem, you got to deal with it, boo, because I can't help you.
I mean, as an aside, this has nothing to do with ghosting, but just on the topic of people having their issues. So I went out with this guy, and like the second time that I went out with him, we were having a conversation that I thought was normal. And then out of nowhere, he's like, because I love myself. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, good for you. Where did this come from? And so I'm thinking, I think a lot of these issues come from people that are just so screwed up. They've never taken the time to really work on themselves. They don't take on the time to really love themselves to a certain extent. I guess this guy really loved himself because he was voicing it to the world. And then I was like,
he's
okay,
a narcissist.
Yes. And then quickly I realized that he was a narcissist, but that's another story in itself.
Well, if you're a narcissist, then you're definitely you will be ghosting several people because you don't think about that other person's feelings or.
And maybe ghosting and narcissism go hand in hand. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. There could be a lot of issues, but then again, it's not up to you to figure it out. So based on a couple statistics, when I was doing a little bit of research, in 2016, a poll from market research company YouGov stated that 11% of people admitted to having ghosted someone. And but based on POF, and POF, plenty of, what else stands for F?
Fools.
That's a good one. That's not what I was thinking, but it's a good one. 80% of its users admitted to having been in the receiving end. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's why ghosting has become so the norm, because of just dating apps. I mean, it's just very easy. Like, oh, I met some, not that I met somebody else, but I saw somebody else's picture that was cuter than yours. So.
Do they really tell you that?
No.
I don't know. I haven't been on this POF thing, and people tell me to go on it all the time, but I refuse.
But it's whatever, POF or Insert, whatever other dating app there is. I mean,
what
there's
is
so
it
many
called?
out there.
Insert?
Huh?
Insert?
No, like I'm saying POF, but it doesn't have to be POF. I'm saying
I thought there was a freaking app called Insert. I was like, I will definitely not be going on that one.
Insert here.
Oh my gosh.
No, but I mean, and it's so weird because there's so many single people out there, and there's so many dating apps. There's so many people on dating apps, and there's still people are not learning. But I guess I heard somebody say the other day, which is absolutely true. It's like nowadays it's easier to get somebody to be in a relationship with, but it's harder to keep somebody to be in that relationship. And
well, I think that with all these apps that you have and everyone's on them, and that you have. It's like a supermarket. You go and you pick and choose, and then you go and you buy another one, and people just have so many options now that it's funny because everyone's saying, I want a good person, I want a serious relationship, I want this. Everyone wants all these fabulous things, but when you come right down to it, no one commits for the most part because
nobody wants to do the hard work.
No.
Because this is, I guess, another episode, but it's hooking up with somebody's really easy, but actually developing something real and with somebody else and really opening up yourself to that, it's scary. And I think people are just jumping from, okay, it's not this one, it's the other one. No, it's the girl, it's where's the guy, he's not the one or she's not the one, it's the next one. And the next one, and the next one. Instead of, sometimes you got to look at yourself. Sometimes it is you. Sometimes it's not them. Sometimes it really is you.
And again, I think all this, selection process, you can, you're texting 10 people at the same time, and, it all lends for that. So.
Yeah, I guess we're like opening up ourselves to that possibility every single day. Honestly, but no matter what they tell you or what you tell somebody else, why you got ghosted, watch that Sex and the City episode, or like he's just not that into you. It really just comes down to that. Don't go crazy trying to analyze his or her every action on social media and what they did and replaying the relationship from beginning to end. It's just, or the relation-ish or the situationship. It just wasn't there for whatever reason, For whatever reason, they did not want to, they didn't even bother to send you a hey, heads up, I'm not going to be texting you anymore type of text. It he didn't die on the expressway. Because I haven't killed him yet. He's not too busy. He didn't get run over by whatever mode of transportation, a bus or a ship or a car or a plane or whatever. At the end of the day, you don't stop talking to somebody that you like a lot. You just don't do that. Just humans don't do that. If something feels good, you want to keep doing it. So if you really like somebody and what that person brings to the table and the vibe that you have, why would he stop texting you or calling you, and vice versa? So nobody stops doing something that they really like. So just chuck it up to good old, life experience, and just try to move on with your dignity intact. Like, really, dignity is key here. Because it brings me to the next point. Like, do you really want to know why that guy or that girl stopped texting you? Like, do you really want to go down that rabbit hole and trying to find out? And do you really want to do that? My answer is try not to. Try not to confront that person, because you might not. You might not like what they have to say.
I'm sure what they're gonna say is not gonna be positive, right? But in turn, do you really care? Like, how much does this person really know you? They don't know you enough to opine on those types of things. So basically, you're going to let some stupid, coward person, right? Not to make it gender specific, but tell you all these things, negatives about you, what they didn't like. So what? At the end of the day, it just puts you in a bad place. Your energy gets depleted. You're giving your power away to somebody who's a coward anyway. So why would you open yourself up for that? Just move it on down the line. Just keep going.
Yeah, I think it's normal. It's just like a knee-jerk reaction, I guess, to when somebody stops communication with you. The first thing you think is, me. I did something wrong. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not. All these things start playing in your head.
Well, hopefully you're in a good emotional state where you have enough self-love and like you said earlier, dignity, and your worth. At the end of the day, somebody that's swiping, what the hell is it? You swipe what if you like somebody?
I think you swipe right if you like somebody. You swipe left if you don't.
No idea. I don't swipe.
I think that.
I'm not a swiper. Anyway, who cares? You have so many options out there, right? That's how everybody thinks. So don't put yourself in that situation. If the guy or the girl doesn't like you and ghosts you, and now you're left high and dry, well, pick yourself up, shake yourself off, and go to
shake it off. Like Taylor Swift says, just play Taylor Swift songs, and you will be okay.
Or you can write a song based on your miserable experience like Taylor Swift, and maybe you'll make $1 million off some
Or like Taylor Swift, what was her name? Adele. Hello.
Oh my God.
What is it?
I need to write a song.
Turning Fences, I think it was the name of her first song. I forgot the name of her song, but it was like awesome song. And like she, it's because of the guy that, and what's the other one? Dua Lipa. Hello.
Yeah.
Plenty of people making money out of heartbreak. So
I think that's what
turn that heartbreak into cash.
Correct.
That going off on this thing of like, do you really want to know why? That there's like this station, like this local station, 97.3 The Coast, and they do that thing about blown off. Like people call like, guys and girls equally, and they're like, oh, I was dating this guy for like 2 weeks and it was like really well, or first or second day were really well, and then he just like, basically you got blown off. That's another term. You got blown off, you got ghosted. And then they call the other person with an excuse, like whatever, hey, you want some tickets, blah, blah, blah. And then like the other person is on the phone. I get like such anxiety from listening to that. Most of the time, I switch the station because I get such secondhand embarrassment. Because it is never like it's so funny because that people's version in their head of like how that date went. Oh my God, it was great, and we did this and we did that, and we hung out in my apartment and we cooked dinner, and he was playing with like my kitty, and I mean like real cat, and like all that stuff and whatever. And then you talk to the guy's like, oh my God, there were like cat hair everywhere.
I hate cats,
and it was so gross, and the cat kept jumping up on me, and she wouldn't let it. She wouldn't say anything. So it's like, you're like, oh my God, like the same date, and people have like completely different versions of it.
Well,
so it's like, do not. Oh my God, I would never confront somebody. I'd rather just keep it in my mind and just keep you like you're a dick in my mind forever, and that's it. It's just safer for everyone, I think. It's so embarrassing. So, I would never do that.
I have a bit of advice for these people, right? So if you're gonna call a radio station, in my opinion, because I hear these things all the time with the cheaters, let the guy or the girl finish talking. It's like they're not even confessing fully yet, and you're pouncing on them. Aha! I knew it was you, dude. Let them finish. Let them, say everything they need to say, and then come out, to let them know that you're on the other line. I want to hear the whole freaking story. Like, come on.
Let them listen, because if you interrupt, right there, it gives them time to think of excuses too. It's
why are you doing that?
Why are you screaming? You didn't even let me finish. I said that she was sick. I was going to say that she was sick and that she, like I sent her flowers, whatever. So it's like, let them hear it out. And then you can say, I'll get back to you, boo. Let me think about what you said. Mm-hmm. If you've been ghosted, how to get over it.
How to get over
Experts say, especially now on social media, block, unfollow, delete. Recite that to yourself. Stitch it in your favorite shirt. In your favorite pillow.
Maybe we should do a t-shirt that says that.
Yeah. Tattoo it if you have to. Block, unfollow, delete.
That's a good slogan. I like it.
You need to not cyber stalk. And if you do, maybe give yourself some time. It's a death in a way. Give yourself time to mourn it.
Not really if it's 2 weeks, people. Come on.
Well, some people get really attached or
No.
Yeah, true. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I like to call it social media stalking drive-bys, because that's my term for the stalking. So limit your drive-bys.
Limit your drive-by.
Yes, and then go back to step 1, block, unfollow, delete, so that you can't drive by anymore.
Yes. If in doubt, block, unfollow, delete. Not only the person that ghosted you, but his friends, whoever you had contact with in his group. I mean, you don't have to unfriend them, but just don't follow their social media. So there's a way that you can just unfollow them, so you don't have to keep seeing their posts. I mean, this is social media 101. But really, no, I mean, if it's been longer than 2 weeks and you're really feeling it, kind of that it's equal to a breakup, really feel it out and really just give yourself time to mourn it and cry it out and talk to whoever you want to talk to and just hash it out and write it, just write a note and don't send it to the guy or the girl. Because if you don't mourn that death, if you don't cry it out, if you don't just let it out of your system, you're going to be carrying that to the next relationship and the next relationship and the next one. You got to just let it go, because I don't believe in that. What is it get up on the saddle, whatever. I don't believe in un clavo saca otro clavo.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say that if you come from a Hispanic household, so what is your
and by Hispanic we mean Cuba,
or
mostly.
Yes. And then, so what do most people tell you in your family? Un clavo saca el otro, and move on. You'll find another one, and that's really the mentality. It's I guess the whole millennial social media thing is not a new thing. It's something that even our older parents and aunts, uncles, grandparents. I don't know so much grandparents, because back then they believed in the whole.
Well, back then you stay forever, and even
for good or forever. Te pegan 100. No, who cares?
There's pros and cons to that too. But there's even a song now that un clavo saca otro clavo, and it's so funny because on the radio station they bleep the clavo part. It's clavo is not a bad word. So it's a popular term, but I would never, I know that I have to be completely over somebody. If I really felt something for that person, I have to be over that person completely in order to go to the next thing. Because I can't even entertain the idea of being with somebody else. And I don't think it would be fair to whoever else I meet.
I think that's more of and I hate to sound chauvinistic right now, but I think that's more of a woman thing than a man thing. I think women deal with their emotions, first, and then move forward, which I have to tell you that this stage of my life, I don't know that I'm totally on board with that philosophy anymore. I think we waste so much time being miserable and mourning and whatever. I mean, I've gotten to a point where I get over things quicker now, which is better for everybody, I think. most definitely for myself. But anyway,
for everybody.
It's just, and men just go crazy, and they go and they have sex with 20,000 people, and they keep going out until one day it hits them that, they're miserable and they're upset, and then they deal with it, and then, the world is a better place, maybe not. And
because they can be by themselves and they can't feel emotion. It's like, oh, emotions are scary. I can't. Like, let me just find somebody else to like drown my misery.
And that is another episode.
Let me find somebody to like stick it in so I can forget about it.
Maybe that's when you have to go to the insert app.
But they say, like, I've heard, to get over somebody, maybe not the ghosting thing, like, more like of a relationship, but that it takes like half the time that the relationship lasted. So imagine if you were married for somebody for 10 years, it's going to take you 5 years to get over it. I hope not.
Oh my God. No.
No.
I think it all depends on the relationship and how it ended. And I mean, there's people that are divorced 10 years later and they still hate each other. Like, why are you wasting that much energy?
Yeah.
It's sad.
For sure. I heard something too that I kind of think this way, like rejection is God's protection.
Oh, I like that.
So
I like that.
Everything happens for a reason. If somebody
making a note of that, boys and girls.
Rejection is God's protection. So just if somebody doesn't want to be in your life, whatever.
Move it on.
Move on. Now, these are not, I feel like good reasons to ghost somebody. There's never a good reason to ghost somebody. If you don't like somebody, just tell them, listen, I'm just not vibing. Like, whatever. It's just not happening for me. But I know that, especially like, obviously now with like dating, everybody just texts. And if you just keep texting me and you don't pick up the phone and call me, eventually I'm just not going to answer because that annoys me, especially if I've voiced my desire to hear your voice and get to know you on not just through emojis. And you're just not listening to me, and you're like a 15-year-old instead of like a 40-year-old man, and you can pick up the phone and like get to know me, at least, get to know my voice, then you're just not worth my text. So that's when I'm going to ghost your ass. And I remember talking to this guy one time, and he just kept asking me, like, he was like, I guess, very old school Cuban guy, but he was like, all he talked about was like, oh, do you know how to cook? And do you know how to clean? And do you like cooking? And do you like doing this? And I'm like, what the hell? Is he looking for a maid, or is he looking for...
is this maids.com? What is this?
Like, oh my God. Like, and
this is an Angie's List. What the hell are you doing?
Oh my gosh. I was like, basically it was just, I don't know. It was like, this is not the guy. So
this is not Que Pasa USA, where I'm going to be home all day cooking and cleaning.
No.
And working full time, I may add.
No, it's not happening.
Next.
So that's when I think you're going to get ghosted if you do those things, guys and girls, just putting it out there, like, But anyway, those are my 2 cents on the ghosting episode.
So the ghosting will continue. It's not Halloween yet. And the world is going to keep revolving, and we're all going to be okay, and that's all.
Until you meet somebody that is worth your time, and it's not going to happen to you anymore, hopefully. But until then, keep dating, I guess.
Keep swiping.
Keep swiping.
Keep swiping.
Just keep swiping. Just keep swiping.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming, okay?
Alrighty.
All right. Hasta la bye-bye. Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi guys, remember to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at
Café con Leche en 305.
Gracias.